tell us a little bit about Thomas Gendt, Paul, because he did win a stage last year of the Tour de France.
Well, he's a guy who's got a big pedigree. Yes, he won a stage in the Tour de France. Over the last few years, he's become a little bit of a guy who's been looking for positions in breakaways and animators like this. But of course, he did finish in 3rd place overall at the Tour of Italy. So they're not going to give him too much of an advantage. Although he's lost a fair amount of time so far, they know that man on the back, Thomas Gendt, has a good pedigree in this sport.
He's made a name for himself when he won that stage in the Tour last year, because that was the stage where Chris Froome started to run up Mont Ventoux without his bicycle. It became a sporting highlight of the year around the world. There's a nice view of the helicopter at Selix Hill. When you're down there, it doesn't seem so steep, but this is a very, very long, steady climb. And it's not one often used because it's a main road, really.
Well, honestly, Phil, I would be surprised if anybody gets across the line at the top of this climb ahead of Thomas Gendt. As we've said, he is a rider with a big pedigree, and let's not forget he also won one of the difficult stages of the Tour of Italy as well, to the summit of the Stelvio. I'm not going to say that Selix Hill is anything like the Stelvio or the Mont Ventoux, but you do need to be very astute when it comes to sprinting at the top of a short incline like this.
Man on the front at the moment, Vegard Lengen. He's a Norwegian rider. He's a newcomer to the sport. He's only 23 years of age, now getting his taste of the World Tour with the new Abu Dhabi team.
Yeah, but just look at Thomas Gendt, Phil. He keeps looking over his shoulder. He's just listening out of his the back of his ear to see, can he hear the whistle of an acceleration of tyres coming forward? And he keeps looking. There's the acceleration from the man in red.
Yes, he would have been odds on for the points, and his aim now, of course, is to try and build for this competition as we race towards the finish. The big points are scored on Wollonga Hill. That's on Saturday. But he has been a king of the mountains in the past of many events, and he's not left it to a sprint finish, has he?
No, he hasn't. I tell you what, he was just waiting to see if there's going to be any reaction. That initial jump gave him the gap over everybody else, and I would think, just knowing how sensible a professional bike rider he is, now that he's got the points in the bag, Phil, he'll sit up and wait for the other riders to join him, because he knows there's still a good 2 hours and 20 minutes before he gets to the finish line here in Victor Harbour.
Yeah.